Welcome everyone. Quick rookie playthrough for yous from the Summer Major on the Akacha Reserve. Hole 1, we go with quarterback and a marlin ball. All the top, all the right, that's a quarterback 6 as you can see. Reference for me is clear ring half into the rough and then a maximum ring adjustment, which in this case was 4.2. So that's going to bounce over nicely. No real danger of running out of fairway or anything, so 290, note that down. Second shot is, well, we make a mistake with this I think. It's a min distance backbone. I'll be using 2 backspin and trying to aim it at the pin. I had 1 left to try and straighten for the wind there. So all looks good. As I say, a minimum adjustment, so 2.2 rings. Check we're recording. And a massive great right. So we don't really learn much from this. Pace looks okay. Maybe a little fast, we could maybe go 2.5 back or just bring it back a touch. Make sure you are far enough forward that you can adjust backwards for the adjustment though. So that was hole 1. Quite makeable to be honest out of the par 4s. It's not a must eagle, but it's a good chance. Hole 2 we stick with a quarterback again. You can use extra mile here, but you can't use the full distance of the club, hence why I've used the quarterback. So we go max right and 3 top I think, using the red ring by the rough as our adjustment reference, and 1 to 1, so 3.1 rings. I'm going to use a half a ball of right curl. With it being the quarterback, you can probably get away with great right, great left there. Another advantage over using the extra mile in my opinion. So that'll go 312, which is just fine. Big dog for the second shot. So trying to find out how far we can get with this. Going to end up using a little bit of backspin and a little bit of left spin. So what do we end up with? About 1.5 left and 1 back. So we're going to get 1.8 push from the wind, so we just want to make it over that rough. So we're going to require a little bit of overpower, just enough so the ball's at the bottom of the circle without actually breaking the adjustment circle. Great left, but doesn't do us too much damage. It's pretty much great proof. That's why we use the left spin, so we can stay away from that patch of rough by the bunker. And that rolls in quite well, so not a shot you expect to make, but you never know, you might get lucky once over the week, possibly. Hole 3 is the first par 3. This one we're going to play with Viper. Going to go full right and 2 back. I'm going to make a hash of this, but we're going to use our rare yellow ring by the rough and use minimum numbers. In hindsight, we should maybe go a little bit further from the rough. You'll see why now. So a massive great right. We're actually lucky to stay on short stuff there, as you can see. So not a lot to be learned there. I did play this same shot on my other account, and it rolls in nicely if you can hit the perfect. So yeah, maybe bring that ring slightly further away from the sand or the trap, just to give yourself a bit of wiggle room. There is a rough bump here as well, incidentally. A Viper and a Marlin. I've done that with a couple of shootouts, using 1 back and 1 left, landing in the sort of the last bit of rough. Pretty much a max distance Viper. So a few choices on how to play that. There's a few choices on how to play a few of these holes, to be honest, so these are just the ways I went. Hole 4. So the first time we use the extra mile. Stick with a marlin. All the top, all the left. Half the blue ring in the left rough. And this is going to be a maximum adjustment of 1.5 rings. You want to try and be careful how far up this mound in terms of distance from the tee you want to land, because I think I go a little bit too far here. Baby left curl, but because we landed quite far towards the end of that fairway, we almost catch a downslope there, which is no bad thing, but I noticed this one was a lot shorter than another drive with the same club on a different round. So 316, that'll give us about a mid distance. Well, it looks like it's near a max, but in terms of the numbers I played, which was 10% downhill, this is a mid distance thorn. So 4 back, 1 left. The 1 left's to try and straighten for the wind. You want the ball guide, and this is thorn 4, so it's not a great ball guide, but right before the pin, half a square short of it basically. So what do we pull here? I think we pull too many. We pull about 1.3, 1.4. We should have pulled 1.2. The mid number. So that comes close, but not close enough. But we can dial that one in through the week, for sure. Hole 5, second par 3. Going to go with a backbone and a marlin here. It's quite an uneven landing spot, so I use 1 bar of backspin, 10% elevation adjustment. We're going to end up with the red ring just into the rough. Any further back you do get that little glitchy ball guide, so that's a backbone 8, red ring just into the rough, 1 bar of backspin, and then a maximum ring adjustment with 10% added, so that's 2.8 rings. This is going to miss left, I believe, but the speed looks okay, so 1 bar of backspin seems fine. Just need to do a better job of lining that up, possibly offset it slightly to the right of the hole, maybe a cup to the right next time. Hole 6 is another par 5, and we're going to go with an extra mile and a tighten. So the trick with this is, if you want to use a wood club for the second shot, you don't want to use too much overpower. In this instance we go 3 top and 1 right. Maximum ring adjustment with 10% downhill, just 2 rings. The intention here is to pull the 2 rings back and then extend the club to maximum distance again. Given that the wind's almost straight, it's kind of futile, but that's what we do. And then with this is an extra mile 6, so this needs no overpower. If you've got an extra mile 5, and you want to use a tighten, you may want to just creep into the overpower there. We can see we clear it comfortably, so you don't have to do that, but it's about how far you go here. This is just short enough to use a wood club, 360 yards. But as I say, back off the topspin, maybe use 1 top, and personally want to get further right on that fairway, so I'll be using 3 or 4 right and 1 top next time. So this leaves us a minimum Viper. We make a horrendous mistake of not pushing the target up far enough here though. So when we try to pull back, we find out we can't actually move the club far enough back for our 1.8 rings. Hence why I would suggest not using 3 topspin off the tee, not going quite that far. 345, 350 yards would probably be a better drive distance to aim for. So we slightly underpower this just to allow for that oversight, but it does sort of roll off to the left, so maybe ease up on the left spin there. Certainly not a good effort this time round, but something to learn from for the next time. So we just knock this in. short wedges like this, I mean this is a straight wind so it's irrelevant, but you don't want the ball guide leaving the cup at all. If you've got a right to left wind, just put the ball guide in the right half of the centre of the cup, and vice versa. 7 is the final par 3. So we go backbone and a marlin ball here. 20% downhill from the rookie tee. Well, that's what I played at least. It is maximum club distance, so it's going to be the 2.4 rings. Going all the right spin, we end up with 1.5 back. I think the reference will be the blue ring into the rough on the right there, as you can see. So then we want 2.4 rings, as I say. An impatient opponent. Great ball that to the right, so not great. Well, was great, but not going to learn a lot. I think perfect ball would have been interesting to see how close that got. But yeah, 20% feels right, and the adjustment felt right. Hole 8 is the last par 4. If you are lucky enough to have an extra mile 6, you can reach the green, as you're about to see. So all the top spin, 1 left spin. We're going to adjust our 1.5 rings and then push the target back up to maximum distance of the club. So it looks like you're aiming at this, the right edge, the rough to the left of the bottleneck before the green is the rough line. This fairway slopes into the middle from either side, so it kind of helps us great right or great left here. As it happens, I think we hit it close to perfect. So this is an extra mile 6, as I say, as you can see, well over the rough. An extra mile 5 will get very close too. My opponent used an extra mile 5 in a quasar, and he was in the neck of that bottleneck before the green. But with a 6, you can obviously get there, as you can see, for an easy eagle. And the last hole, par 5 as usual. You can play right here. Having watched a few videos today and had a go at it myself, left is preferable for me. Tighten ball again, extra mile again. Full topspin again, a bit like hole 8, and just blast it as far as you can really. Quite a wide fairway, so it should be great proof. And this will set up a rough bump if you're comfortable with rough bumps. If you're not comfortable playing rough bumps, then by all means tee off to the right hand side fairway instead, from where you can use a big dog to just knock it onto the green. Less likely to drop the albatross that way, but still a safe eagle. So this leaves us I think I play a medium distance Viper with no elevation, which is interesting. So we go 1 top and 1 left. Yellow ring touching the top of the rough there, or close to it. Try and line it up as best you can, not the best ball guide in the world, but needs must. So 2 rings down, and then we're going to push up about half a ring to allow for the fact that we've adjusted downhill quite a lot. And perfect ball. It's going to come in hot, but we will find the cup. So there's the albatross to finish. So a nice little, strong finish. Eagle albatross has turned a decent round into a really good round, so happy with that. I think my opponent was happier than me. So 14 under it was. As I say, 1 is definitely makeable. Just close this. Yeah, 1 is makeable with a decent, a perfect shot after the good drive. The par 3s are all gettable. I think they need a little bit of tweaking here and there, but they're certainly reachable in terms of hole-in-ones. And obviously 8 and 9 present good opportunities to finish the round. So not a bad course. Pleased with that. So, hope it helps some of you guys. Any questions or any comments, please post down below. Happy to answer any questions you've got. Good luck for your own rounds, and I'll hopefully see you on a live stream sometime soon. Bye bye.